What is going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Guys, wanted to bring you a practice report today. But before we do that, just want to say again, this episode is sponsored by FanDuel. Guys, right now on FanDuel, the Indianapolis Colts are the favorite to win the division as it currently sits. We are at a plus 100 right now, but remember, Jacksonville Jaguars, who are right behind us, they're sitting pretty at plus 120. So pretty dang close, if I would say. And you know what? If you're feeling feisty, the Houston Texans are also at a plus 750 right now. So definitely some craziness happening in the AFC South. But if you guys want to hop in on that kind of bet right now, betting on the division winner, be sure to check out FanDuel today. But want to get into the nitty gritty, guys. We have the practice report for you guys. Obviously, the Colts welcoming in former Colt kicker Michael Badgley. Said that he's going to give everything he's got for Shane, which I love. And some other injury news, some guys going on the IR. Joe Bashi is going on IR. Don't even know what injury because, he never came out of the game for that reason, I don't think. He could have, and that might have been one of the reasons, but nevertheless, he is on IR. And also, in other news as well, Mike Hilton also was placed on practice squad IR. So not season-ending IR for Mike Hilton, but definitely will be out for at least the next 4 weeks with that shoulder injury. Certainly not great news, especially with the stuff that we're about to talk about here today going forward. But of course, I would imagine that Chris Lamons will end up taking over at slot corner till Kenny Moore gets back. But we'll have to see how that works. I don't know if the Colts are going to sign anybody at corner this week. I have no idea. Obviously, when we talked about the Colts signed Jermaine Pratt, which is a great move. Great to see that kind of move be made. Really going to help improve our middle of the field. Jermaine Pratt being there is much needed depth at that linebacker spot. But let's go ahead and hop into this. Mainly, this comes down to, again, Alec Pierce and Kenny Moore. That is basically the extent of it. Tyler Goodson, again, with the groin injury, did not practice. Tyquan Lewis with an illness did not practice. We'll have to monitor that as we move forward. Braden Smith did not practice, but that was just due to a rest day. So good to see that. And Grover Stewart, who, again, was placed on the initial report with a bicep injury. And I was very concerned at first because we didn't really hear a whole lot. But it was a full practice for Grover. He practiced fully today, which is a great sign for sure. But Alec Pierce as well on here, but we saw he practiced fully all week last week. Wasn't able to play in this last game. Did not pass the final protocol, which is basically he passed the initial part of it, which was he wasn't showing any outlier symptoms. But obviously there is a test that they need to put him through that, finds out if he is fully clear, and he did not pass it and wasn't able to play in the last game. But practice fully again today. Great sign moving forward. Again, I said last week I expected him to play. It obviously didn't work out that way, but obviously the longer this plays out for Alec Pierce, the more likely he's going to probably play this week. But nevertheless, great to see Alec Pierce and Grover Stewart both having full practices today. The only other one was Kenny Moore, and the Colts did actually try to work out Kenny Moore today. They brought him out on um they brought him out on the practice field today to see how he was doing on the Achilles. And after some small work, he was not able to go for the practice today. So Indianapolis Colts didn't feel comfortable with where he's at. So they said he did not practice today. We'll have to see if he gets any kind of practice work in at all throughout the week. But again, I would say this is another indicator that Kenny Moore will likely not play in the game against the Cardinals, would be my guess, just based off of this. Because again, when you're dealing with an Achilles injury, and if you didn't practice at the start of the week, likely that he's not going to play. Again, we'll keep an eye out, see how he does throughout the week. But if he doesn't practice by Thursday, then it's most likely he is not going to play. So not too worried about that. Again, I'll be more worried when we play the Chargers. Obviously, would rather have him available for the Chargers game, but we'll see if he's even ready for that one. But nevertheless, again, everybody else, good signs right now. Obviously, we talked about some of the guys that were going on IR. Obviously, losing Hilton's huge. But I mean, hopefully we get Kenny Moore back here shortly. And as far as everyone else goes, Kenny Moore is really the only one that you have concerns about him not playing on Sunday. But nevertheless, it's a pretty solid day for the Colts for the practice report. I've seen it a lot worse, so it could be a lot worse. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Let me know your thoughts on this. Thank you so much. And as always, go Colts.